My name's Andy Quayle. I'm kind of dropped into this somewhat at the last minute. What qualifies me to be stood here? I'm the CEO of a local web hosting company, Cuba Internet Solutions. I got some clients in the area. CEO of a web hosting company, and I run techberg.com. It's just a general technology blog. Try to focus on stuff in Pittsburgh, but we cover lots of stuff globally too. I got business cards up front if you want to get in touch with me afterwards. Though this is an SEO session, I want to gear it more towards more of an open discussion, questions and answers, and a crowd sourcing kind of a thing. It's not for a lack of preparation, more just that's how I'd like to see how it works. Yeah, I'm good. Excellent. And because I was talking to Jen last night at the meet and greet, and I'm seen as something of a rebellious SEO guy in the area. There's all these people out there who are charging all kinds of money to take care of all of your SEO services and get your search your site ranking #1 in search engines, etc., etc., etc. I'm more of a teach a person how to fish kind of a guy, and train you to do it yourself. That's why I founded my company, just to give people the opportunities. So I need some hands up. I need some participation here. I need at least 5 people to tell me what they want to get out of this session, what they want to know, what they want to learn. Anybody?
Maria.
Maria?
I'm using a lot of tools on my blog, like Scribe and SEO plugin, and I just kind of want some validation that I'm doing the right thing, and what other tools are out there that I could be using.
Okay.
And word tracker.
All right. Well, one of the first things. Anybody got any good tools they're using as far as SEO goes on their blog? Are you using WordPress first of all?
Yes.
Okay. Good story. Excellent story. Hands up. Anybody tools? Anybody using tools that they use on their blogs?
I use the same SEO plugin on WordPress.
Okay. All-in-one SEO is a good one. That's what we like the top.
What about the stuff that's inside Thesis?
Thesis themes, the meta tags are built into Thesis. It's quite capable of meta tags. So Thesis themes is a good theme for WordPress in that it takes all the meta tags and it doesn't throw in no follows and things like that. So Thesis is a good theme for that. All-in-one SEO is a good one. As far as link building goes, Zemanta. Anybody heard of Zemanta or use Zemanta? I know I've been using it for years. Zemanta. Awesome plugin. It adds another part to your editor, and that if while you're writing out your post, it looks through your post, and you can add it looks for links. It'll add all the links in there. Also, it'll tag your post automatically, and it'll look for related content. So you can link to related content. That brings on some reciprocity as far as links go. Zemanta is a good tool. So there's all-in-one SEO. There's Zemanta. You're using some other good ones too. But don't rely too much on the tools. Do a lot of it yourself as well. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, go ahead.
Could you explain the difference between something basic like you using Blogspot or WordPress.org versus having your own site or using WordPress.com as far as advantages, disadvantages?
There's a number of trains of thought on this, in that if you have a steve.blogspot.com, it gets thrown in with everybody else. So it's like trying to find the proverbial needle in a haystack. In that search engines, though they like to look through the common sites, it's a lot of information all in one place. So it's a whole lot of information all on one server, all on one service. So it makes it harder for search engines to track, and they see it as less of a reputable service, because you're using a free service, you're loading in with everybody else. And because there's spammer sites and things like that to sign up for these free services automatically, fill it up with content, then it takes some of those services down in reputation with the search engines. That's one side. However, people tend to get more traffic from those services because it builds more of a community. And therefore, because there's more traffic, there's more leverage in your SEO. You're gaining reputation in your SEO. So, like I said, it kind of evens out on the non-hosted side. If you're using, example, Blogspot or Blogger, the two kind of even out. You're building a community, and you're using a free service before you're not paying for it, so that's a good thing anyway. So there's, because it's common area, and because it's all in one pot, it's negative. But because you're building community, and because some people even recognize, hey, it's a .blogspot, it's a good thing. So there can be good and bad to both using the free services. Hosted services, of course, I'll always promote hosted services because I'm web host. But hosted services are good because you get a lot more out of it. You can have your own server, and you can have your own virtual server, your own IP addresses, things like that. If you've got your own IP address, then you can do huge things. I mean, search engines look really positively at your own IP address and your own domain name. And if your domain name is just forwarded to a blogspot, then it's not so good. Well, definitely hosted services have their advantages too. You can do a lot more with your SEO on a hosted service, and search engines tend to look more positively at hosted services. Of course, there's negatives too, because with a hosted service, you can be on a common server, and other users can be doing detrimental things to that server, that get the IP address blacklisted and things like that. So you've got to talk to your host and see what's going on with the server if it's a case like that. Answer your question?
Yeah, and of course yours would be, your hosting service would be one that would be...
Yeah, we're actually using grid hosting now, which is stretching your site over a bunch of servers. Mm-hmm. So it helps in stability. It also distributes your content.
Traffic spikes.
Yeah, it takes care of it because load balancing and things like that.
Good.
So that's what we do. Next, go ahead.
Any SEO plugins or components that you would recommend for a Joomla-based site?
Joomla?
Yes.
I remember Joomla. Actually, to be honest, I really don't have much idea. I've moved out of Joomla. I used to do a whole lot of stuff in Joomla, but now I've moved more into WordPress and just straight content management sites like that. Does anybody else use Joomla in here? Any recommendations? I know you've got some.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Get in touch, take a card, get in touch, and I will certainly get back to you. I know people who do Joomla and nothing but Joomla. I just stick with practices, yeah, I'm sure I actually know some of the same plugins. I know Zementa's either working on it or they have one out already. They're working on the plugin for Joomla because it's a similar content base. You got something?
Yeah. Question about keywords. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. My understanding is when I look for a keyword, I find if it has this like searched globally, monthly a lot, and then I look to see if the sites that are ranked, top class spots, and look at their page rank and see if my site can beat their page rank if I utilize that keyword. And sometimes when I do that, the site that is at 1 has a lower page rank than like the site that's ranked at number 2.
Give me an example of a keyword. What keyword are something related to your site?
Let's just say Pittsburgh podcast.
Okay. Give me another example for a keyword. No, because I'm trying to...
cheese pizza.
Okay, there we go. Now, keywords. Who in here has ever searched for cheese pizza in a search engine? Nobody. Okay. You're more likely to search for something like pizza, best pizza in Pittsburgh, or something like that. So you want to focus more on nobody's going to search for just pizza. Fewer people are going to search for cheese pizza. Very few people are going to search for cheese pizza with anchovies. Okay, you got to. So as far as your keyword ranking goes, think about what people are going to search for. This is the one thing I'm going to preach all throughout. If anyone asks me about keywords, think about what people are going to search for, because that's what you're trying to target. If you're looking for keywords and trying to target your content to a keyword or a long tail keyword, there's keywords, there's key phrases, there's long tail keywords. A long tail keyword is a cheese pizza with pepperoni and anchovies in Squirrel Hill. That's more a phrase, and that's more likely to be something that people would search for. If somebody's going out there searching for cheese pizza, they're going to get billions of results, and there's no doubt that they're going to get the sites that are like Pizza Hut or Domino's, things like that. You've got no chance of competing with those. But think about, if you're looking at keywords, period, think about what people are searching for. And don't do it yourself. Dogpile, have you ever looked at Dogpile? They've got a live search there. It shows you what people, dogpile.com. If you look at that site, there's a link at the bottom for a live search. It shows you what people are searching for. It is amazing. You can turn on and off the adult options. It's really amazing because you see because you know what you're looking for. You know what your site is geared around, and you know what you'd search for. You're tech savvy. You've just set up a website. People who are out there looking for your stuff are likely not setting up websites, unless you're what I do. They're looking for websites. Look at what people are searching for. So if you're, use like the Google keyword generators and things like that, and look for, if you look for pizza, forget pizza. Forget the top 10, 15, 20 keywords in that, and look for what else people are searching for as far as pizza goes. Definitely talk to your friends. Say if you were looking for this, or if you wanted to find this in Google, what would you search for? And look at what other people are searching for, because definitely don't think about what you would look for. It's very rare that people look at what you're looking for. But yeah, as far as your keywords go, definitely see how other pages rank, and see what you can use. Companies like Compete. If you ever looked at the Compete website, compete.com. If you put in your website compared to theirs, you can see what traffic they're bringing in, and what keywords people, or what search phrases people are using in Compete. It also shows you a great graph of how the traffic is trending, yours compared to theirs. You can compare 3, 4, or 5 sites on there. It's a really great utility. Certainly search for, if you've got, so why is Pizza Hut doing so much better than my little hometown pizza company? You can see where they're getting their traffic from and what people are searching for to get to their site, and then you can maybe gear more around that. That make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I'm confused though, if the site in the first position, out all of the variables aside, the first position has a page rank of 3, but the second one has a higher page rank. Why is that? Is there other things going on?
Page rank would be site-wide.
Yeah.
The page would be dependent on, the page rank is site-wide, but if you're putting in a phrase, or if you're putting in a site where the site ranks higher, or a page ranks higher, that's what it is. So page rank is site-wide, but the page is ranking higher because the content is more specific to the search topic. That's. I hope I'm getting that out the right way. Yeah, page rank is site specific, but the site ranks higher because it's more topical to the search, more pertinent. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, next, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm assuming some of the stuff you just said at the end would apply to services, not just products.
Right.
I write a lot for my firm. It's a financial advisory firm. So what you just said, I struggle with. How do people search for something that's not a widget, if you will?
So what are you trying to push them towards?
To our blog.
Okay.
And then on into us, just to meet new people we've not come across before.
Okay. You're surely you're targeting a specific area. Are you working locally?
Yes. We have 3 offices, one up in Wexford, 2 in West Virginia.
Okay. Then you got to definitely target the local market.
Okay.
You can work your phrases and keywords towards more local, Pittsburgh specific things like that. Looking at Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania and things like Western Ohio, Eastern Ohio, etc.
Sure.
Definitely target because people would be searching for financial advisory Pittsburgh or financial analysis Pittsburgh, things like that. That would definitely be a target. I'd definitely work locally with that.
That makes more sense, yeah, for sure.
You just got to think about what people in the area are searching for. Google will give you trends as well. If you look for Google Trends, they'll give you area-specific trends, so you can see what people are searching for in Pittsburgh. Because you got to think search specific too. People in Pittsburgh are going to search more for pop than they are for cola down the south. So you got to think about what you're looking for as well. So yeah, definitely a local target. I'll work with that. Next, Jen.
Okay, so can we just back up for a minute?
We can.
I'm sort of a Luddite compared to most people in this
That's fine.
room, but I'm sort of shoved into the role of managing websites for a lot of my nonprofit and
Right.
community clients, because I'm the most confident person in the room, which is frightening. So where do I even begin with this? Because I just know nothing about this.
Oh, okay.
Call Andy.
That's what I usually do.
Sure, you can do that. Or you know where I live, so whatever. I'm gonna give it a little speech here. Search engine optimization isn't some flash, trendy, sexy industry. It's really not. There's a whole lot of used car salesmen out there. I've traveled the globe. I've done SEO in a number of conferences across the country, and there's a few people that give this talk. There are those people out there who will say, "Hey, I'll take care of your SEO. I'll get your site ranked to #1 within 3 minutes, and it will cost you $6,000." I'm like, forget that. SEO is a practice. You've got to keep on going through, and you've got to keep on going with it. So you've got to. There's a whole bunch of stuff that ties into SEO. One of my other top things is site analytics, which is a really boring topic, but I like it anyway. You've got to look at what you're doing, look at where people are coming from. You've got to get your content out there. Content is important. People used to say it was key. Content is very important. If you write something that people want to look at, you're going to get traffic to your site. If you get traffic to your site, search engines go, "Hey, they're getting traffic to their site, they must be good." Rank higher. If you write good content, people are going to link to it. Search engines go, "Hey, this person's got links coming into them." It's going to go higher. So content is very important, but also getting your content out there is important. You've got to spread the word on all your networks. You've got to spread the word in real life and things like that. So it's all about getting yourself out there, building a community, and saying, "Hey, to the search engines, I'm good, I'm worth it. Get me up there in the rankings." That's a basic initial thing. There's all kinds of intricacies that you can do with it, but that's the basic. Get your stuff started. Write something good. Use something good. Make sure your site's available for people to use, and the search engine will go like that. That's the basics like that.
Just a thought, maybe in addition to that, making your images on your blog search engine optimization friendly.
Tag your images. People, when they do a Google image search or search in Google straight up, they get image results. You tag your images with your company logo, for example, or pictures of feeding homeless kids, things like that. Tag it specifically for you. It'll come up in the search results, and people are likely to click on an image and find it another way.
And then to find those, the tags that you should use, is that, I can intuit some of it, but should I go look and see what people are searching?
There's
Is
a
that
Google
part of that?
keyword analyzer you can use. You put in your website address, it'll say, "Hey, this is what keywords are associated with your site," or your page. Or if you put in a word or two, it'll tell you what keywords come up top ranked and to that. Like I said before, don't think about what you'd search for if you wanted to find your company or organization. You got to think about what other people would search for. Did you have something?
If you use a content syndication service to push material to your blog, can that hurt your rankings?
Push material to your blog?
Yeah.
Are you thinking about things like duplicate content?
I'm sorry?
Duplicate content?
I'm sure it's used by others, yes.
Yeah. I know for a fact that Google does not dismiss duplicate content. They don't bump you down because you got similar content all over the web, which you would have. For example, the TechBook blog. Anybody know of Callie Lewis? Geekbeat.tv? Yeah. She's a great, bright, bubbly tech girl that's just signed up with Revision 3. we syndicate her content to and she's got sites and things like that all over the web. Because you have similar content to anyone else out there, as long as it's nothing but similar content, you've got your own unique content out there. I know Google does not dismiss that, because people are sharing now. That's what it's all about, the sharing and promoting content. So yeah, content syndication is good. What I would suggest is definitely don't just leave it as the syndication. Go in there and look at the stuff. Maybe put some links, maybe an editorial comment at the bottom, things like that. Right. Link to it, and you'll get some. So it's like half the work's done for you, but then you can push your own content admission there too. Next, anybody else? Any other input on Steve?
Frequency of keywords in your headers, your subheaders, your text.
2%. That's generally across the board. That way, it used to be back in the day, way back in 1996, companies would set up, or unscrupulous companies would set up a page and just fill the bottom portion of the page with white text that said nothing but Britney Spears. That way, if somebody searched for Britney Spears, like, hey, this page is full of Britney Spears, let's send them to this page. Right, and search engines wise up to that, and they said, hey, that's not really working because that site is definitely not Britney Spears. Yeah, 2% is about a good keyword ratio. So if you're writing about PodCamp Pittsburgh, you don't want to go, I was at PodCamp Pittsburgh today. We did this at PodCamp Pittsburgh. We did that at PodCamp Pittsburgh. We did this at PodCamp Pittsburgh. That's like a 50% ratio there. So yeah, if you're writing about the Pirates, you want to put 2% of the words or the phrases in there would be related to the Pirates. So if somebody's searching for Pittsburgh Pirates, etc., then the search engine is going to look at that and say, hey, this isn't content spamming. This isn't filling the page up with the keywords. As far as behind the scenes go, that doesn't matter so much. You just don't want to be repeating your keywords in the meta. You don't want to have meta headers that are the same as everything else on your site, because that just mixes in with everything else. Unique meta tags are a very good idea. But yeah, just use them. Yeah, make them unique, and just don't go crazy over them.
Could you explain meta tags?
Meta tags are they're not used so much by search engines anymore, but they're used by some. It's a code that goes into the top heading code of your page, every page, and they're just words that are specific to that page. So if I'm writing about technology in Pittsburgh and PodCamp, I put technology, gadgets, PodCamp, Pittsburgh. That'd be a good couple of meta tags for my page. That way search engines can look at them and say, hey, and they look at the code. But like I said, a lot of engines, they're not looking at the coding anymore, they're looking more at the content. They're looking at the content and the linking and things like that. Tammy?
Unfortunately, my area that I work in is so specific that you use bikers constantly. And does that make me look more like I'm spamming because every story says bikers in it?
Bikers? Really? No, because you got to think, if you're using the word bikers, you're not going to be, people aren't going to be searching for bikers.
If you're a biker, you search for bikers first.
Well, they're not going to be searching for just bikers.
Okay.
So what do you do with bikers? For example, I'm from the Isle of Man. The Isle of Man motorbike racing. So they're not going to be searching for motorbike racing. They're not going to be searching for motorbike road racing. They're going to search for the greatest road racing in the world. Put that in there and come up with the Isle of Man. If I were to put, the Isle of Man has the greatest road racing in the world. The greatest road racing in the world is from the Isle of Man. If you want to find the greatest road racing in the world, okay, that's not what you're going to write in your content. You're going to put, the greatest road racing in the world is on the Isle of Man. Do your content, and maybe like, so if you want to encounter things like that, so you're not just going to use the word bikers. You can use a phrase around that, and you're not going to expect people just to search for that. So you got to think about, was that making any sense to anyone else, or was it just in my head? Okay, good. So yeah, if you're not gonna search for like the Pittsburgh Harley-Davidson Club. So that's what you want to focus your content on.
So I should tag it longer than just bikers.
Absolutely,
motorcycles,
yeah.
Make it more of a phrase.
Yeah, like I said, definitely. I mean, people don't just go. The likelihood is that people are going to search for either. If you watch that dog pile live search, you're going to see that people are searching for very, very, very specific things, or they're putting in the name of a website. I mean, everybody's done it. You go onto Google and you just put in the name of a website. You can't remember what the extension is. You can't remember what the address is. You just put in the name of a website. I've seen people put in Google.com into the Google search. They're like, what are you doing? Yeah, people often put just web addresses into the search box. I've done so much computer training that they get that box up on their screen. And so they're on their computer when they start it up. You say, okay, put the address into the box. Okay, I'll put the address into the box. And up it comes. So, they're going to, if you watch what people are searching for, if you look at what people are searching for, that's huge. Also, branching off a little bit, look at your analytics. If you're not running analytics on your site, you might as well not be doing anything. Look at your analytics and see what people are searching for to come to your site. It gives you an idea of what's attracting people to you. For example, one of the top searches for techberg.com over the last 3 years has been, of course, the word bacon. I'll go into that later. But tattoo text. I don't have any tattoos. I don't need any tattoos. I never want to have a tattoo. But I wrote a post more than 3 years ago on a site that if you put in a word, it'll generate common tattoo text from that word. That's what I did. People started searching for that and came up on the site. So it's kind of embarrassing that that's what they're coming to the blog for. But yeah, that's so you got to see what people are coming to your site for, and that's definitely look at your analytics and see what's bringing people in. I run Woopra all the time on my computer. Site woopra.com. WOOPRA. It's a free service that gives you analytics, but it shows you real time what people are coming to your site from, and it shows you what they search for to come to your site, and that's huge. You got to know where people are coming from, know what they're looking for. Did that explain it for you? Excellent. Next, you have something?
Can you just talk a little bit about the importance of using like certain tags? Like I've read stuff like things can do an H1 tags, like as far as from a HTML tag perspective.
Yeah,
semantics of the.
I was trying to think of it earlier, but I've written about it and I can't remember the tag now. But yeah, Google is, and another research. There's a common standard coming out that I'll have to look it up and I'll have to put it on the site. But it's essentially you can tag certain content. It's going deeper than H1. It's going deeper than just paragraph and body. You can tag certain content in there. For example, this was a quote, or this is a review, or this is a video, things like that. You can tag it much, much deeper and much more specifically. And the search engine is starting to look at things like that. We're talking about H1, which is a header tag in the coding. So if Google comes along and says, okay, this is a header, it must be important on the site. But again, people are wising up to that. But yeah, sites are going more specific than that. It's a typical WordPress user, for example, they got it all in the dashboard right away. You put in a header, it's already tagged as the header in the post page. You put in the content, it's tagged as the content, things like that. So it's not so much a problem. But yeah, definitely using your header. You got to think of this is why Post Gazette drives me crazy. A couple of years ago, Justin and I did a session at the Post Gazette with their crew in there, and we were immediately the opposition. And we're like, okay, Twitter. You got to get on Twitter. You got to engage on Twitter. Who else is better at doing catchy headlines in less than 140 characters than a newspaper? So we're like, you've got this right. You've been doing it for years. Why not do it now? Using your headline in a post, and that, of course, that tags it right away. So get a catchy headline in there. Search engines look at that. So if you're doing something on, your headline is Steelers lose another game, and then you write something on the Pirates, of course that's not going to work very well for anybody, let alone the search engines. So that makes sense. But yeah, definitely get in touch with me. There's like I said, there's a whole movement now within the search engines and within like WordPress and things like that. That's doing. I can't for the life of me remember the name of it, but it's a common tagging standard. But it's tagging for
consortium kind of thing. It's not just like what Google says everyone else does. How's that?
It's across the board. Everybody's looking at this. But like I said, it's tagging more the content than what is within the content. Go ahead.
It's along the same line, bolding words in your content. Is that actually help, or is that just a?
It's just an aesthetics thing now.
Okay.
It used to be, it used to add emphasis to, but yeah, it's just an aesthetics thing. If you're putting, it's all about how you want your site to look now. Search engines don't really recognize that so much anymore.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What's your take on Google Instant? Because I know like a week ago everyone had like a heart attack about it.
SEO's dead!
It's gonna
Oh no! My take personally, I don't think SEO is dead because of Google Instant. You're still searching, and there's still search results. You just got to think more about what people are searching for. Like I said, and you got to think very, very carefully about what people are searching for, because they're going to see it right away, and they're going to see it right there in the search results. But yeah, it's just it's making life a lot harder. But you just got to work a lot more with it. I'm really impressed by Google Instant, to be honest. It's awesome. So Cisco's using it as well. If you search on Cisco, they've got an instant result there too, so I can see a lot of sites doing that now. Anybody? What does anyone else think about Google Instant? Anybody tried it? Used it?
I like it.
It's very impressive. The Google search page now, instead of typing in your search question and then clicking and waiting 0.3 of a second for the search result to come up, the search results come up right away under your search box as you type. It's very, very impressive. Go ahead.
Do you think certain platforms rank better in Google or other search engines than other ones? Like
platforms.
WordPress over Typepad, for instance?
There's actually a video out there of a guy from Google at a WordPress conference saying, "Hey, WordPress is great. I'm a huge WordPress advocate. I love WordPress. It's one of my top platforms. I run my blog on it and a number of other blogs. WordPress is a great platform. Google agrees with WordPress. I know Yahoo loves it, and a few of the other search engines think it's great. It's very search engine friendly. Of course, it's user friendly, and there's all these plugins and widgets and things like that you can put in there to." I'd say, I'd favor WordPress over anything else, especially Joomla. But, I love WordPress. It's a great search engine, a great platform, great content management system, and definitely, Google has admitted, at least staff at Google have admitted to liking it. So that's quite the plug for them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a very interesting video. If you drop me an email, I can send you a link to it. Go ahead.
So, what are good techniques to get content that's in video searchable?
There's video tagging. I know YouTube's using the video tagging, but if you, one of my favorite things to do, I did a video podcast for a couple of years. Definitely put it into a site. Don't just throw it out there like into YouTube and just let it sit there. First of all, use a number of services. Do you do a video podcast, or is it you're just using video? Have you heard of Tube Mogul? Tube Mogul is a great, if anyone's doing video, sign up for Tube Mogul. Justin told me about this one a few years ago. It's TUBEMOGUL.com. Basically, you put your site in one place, and it distributes it to all the video services out there. It's great. It gives you analytics on the other end too. Shows you how many views you're getting. It sends you weekly, monthly, whatever emails saying that this video got this many views, etc. But don't just throw it out to the sites. Put it into a site too. So say, hey, we did this video on this day. This is what it's about. Write a blurb about it. That way, that's got a good chance of getting picked up in the search engine just because of that page. But a lot of the video sites now are just offering the content and tagging within the engine. just make sure you give it a catchy headline, first of all. But definitely tag it however, wherever you can. I know YouTube and the other top sites, and TubeMogul offers that, tag-based content and give it a description. Fill out all the information on the video. Make sure you do it as much as you can, because they add that in there with the searches.
And plan a URL in your description as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Google owns YouTube, so.
Oh, yeah. We saw YouTube as one of the top search. Yeah, Google and YouTube are very close. Yeah, if you want to talk about video, Chris is a good person to talk about video.
Next session.
Anyone else next? Questions, comments, concerns? Go ahead.
I'm using WordPress as a content management system and creating my own themes.
Right.
If I don't include meta, is it still searchable?
Yes.
Does WordPress add its own?
Yeah, there are plugins that can add WordPress meta tags, like the all-in-one SEO plugin, for example. So yeah, definitely don't, unless you're saying not to add meta and not, no follow links, things like that, then yeah, your theme should be fine.
Should I worry about still including description and all that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you can throw that in there. It doesn't do any harm to have it in there. So yeah, you can definitely throw it in there, but it doesn't hurt to not have it in there.
Can you put too much in the tags?
Yes, if you flood the page with the tags, and you shouldn't be putting too much in the tags anyway. But yeah, well, for example, for a start, you can just spend all day tagging your content, completely waste of time. But yeah, you can definitely put too much in the tags, because you got to think about it from a search engine standpoint. The bot's got to sort that tag. Yeah, just even a line or two. Depends on what you're writing, but if you're writing about anti-disestablishmentarianism, you might not want to use that too many times in your tag. But yeah, you can definitely flood your tag, and search engines don't like that. Any more questions about linking? Anybody? Nobody's asking about linking. I've noticed that.
I was going to ask about that.
Go ahead.
But I already asked questions.
You can ask one question, more than one question.
Well, I would just like to learn a little bit more about it. I put a lot of links within my blogs, but what's the benefit and importance of doing it?
Okay. Linking, there's a whole reciprocity thing going on. If you, for example, go along and comment on a site, your comment and link shows up on that site. Say, hey, I wrote about this in my post. It's going to link back to your post. That's a backlink. However, search engines rank on reputation. That's exactly what they're doing. If you've got a bunch of people coming to your site, that means your search engine is going to go, hey, this is a good site. That's a good reputation. If you've got the New York Times linking to your site, they've got a high page rank because they've got a lot of people going to their site. Therefore, them linking to you says, hey, the New York Times is linked to this site. It's going to bump you up. If you've got a whole bunch of smaller sites linking to your site, that's a good thing, but it's not as good as the New York Times. However, if you're linking out a whole bunch, search engines can see it as, or if you're linking to somebody who's linking to you on the same page kind of thing, search engines see that as, you're kind of in cahoots and trying to both boost your page ranks. So they no, we're not so much about that. So having incoming links is great. Having a few select outgoing links is great. If we all think like that, nobody's going to have any links either way. So linking is good. Promoting that other people link to you is good. And linking to other relevant, pertinent content is good. For example, Zemanta is great because it just searches throughout the Zemanta web, and you can click on, hey, this is relevant to me, this, and this. And that way they know you're linking to them, and it puts in the Zemanta tag at the bottom of your page. So yeah, linking is definitely huge. But promote your links and give the pertinent, relevant links out.
What about having links to other content on your blog? Because I'd heard that
As in related to?
Yeah, like if you're writing an article and you wrote another article about it, so you link to that.
Yeah, you can do that. There's no reason why not. And it promotes people staying on your site for longer. That's good for search engines too. bounce rates, as bounce rates go up, search engine ranking goes down. The bounce rate, by the way, is if somebody visits your site and just immediately leaves because they're not interested in it at all. But if somebody stays on your site, then if they're hanging around, looking around, that's a good thing. You had something?
That was my question too, about linking to your old content.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. And it makes it just a good experience for the user too. And of course, it's good for you because you're gaining, garnering a reputation with them, and you're keeping the person on your site for longer, which is great. So, yeah, linking is huge. There's things like follows and no follows on links. For example, if you've got too many pages, there's little tags and little types of links you can use. If you've got too many links on your page and you want to say, okay, yeah, this is getting to be too much, you can put a no follow link on there. In which case the search engine will come along, look at your page and go, okay, there's 5 links on here because it will follow out of those links. However, you put a no follow tag in there, it'll say, okay, I can't follow out of this link, so there's only 5 links on that page. So there's different ways of linking, but sometimes people use no follows because they don't want to see it as there's too many links going out of their site.
Would you have any suggestions on how to evaluate a theme for search engine optimization? Like thesis is a common theme in WordPress compared to something else.
Look at what other people have said about it, for a start. Thesis is a very good theme. A lot of people talk about thesis. Personally, I despise thesis.
Why?
It's very, very complicated. For the general user, it's really, really, really powerful. If you're doing like a business site, a huge content management system, thesis is very good. But for the general user, it's very, very complicated. And that's why we deal with a lot of just general users.
Mm-hmm.
They're setting up their site for the first time. The thesis is like, whoa! So they want to, they say, okay, I want 3 columns, I want a header, and I want a content. Okay, fine, good. Go download one, or we'll just drum your one up and you can upload it. That's fine. Thesis is way beyond that. So thesis is very good, very, very good, powerful theme, sweet. But thesis is a very good SEO one. But definitely, if you're going up to a free site and downloading it, and if you see all of a sudden your search engine rankings drop, then maybe it's your theme. Definitely look at what other people have said about it. And if they put a link in, if they're putting a bunch of links in the bottom of the site, a lot of free themes do that. They'll put a bunch of links to wherever in the bottom of the site. Then that can be detrimental to your ranking. Good for theirs, of course. But definitely just look at what other people are saying about it, and just look at how usable it is. If your search engine, like I said, your search engine ranking goes up, the more people visit your site, the longer people stay on your site. If you've got a crap-looking site, people aren't going to visit it. So, definitely just look at what other people are saying, and just self-evaluation. That's a great start. Anybody else? Go.
And just a comment, I'm a novice, I know nothing from nothing.
Right.
And so it's really fascinating to listen to all that. But the one thing that I can kind of see that I can pull out from what you're saying is it's just the common sense.
It absolutely is. It's huge common sense. Like I said, there's these people out there that are saying, do this, and I'll charge you thousands of dollars. There's no need to do that. Of course, you go into some of the other sessions. Somebody might differ from that. But it's all huge common sense. If you've got something good, if you're writing something good, people are going to come and visit it. People are going to link to it, and it's going to go up in the search rankings. That's exactly how it works. I work closely with Google Pittsburgh. I'm on a bunch of their lists, and I'm always visiting their offices and things like that. And I'm talking to their guys, and they're saying, we're always changing the search engine. If this search engine optimization company charging you millions of dollars for whatever, they found a loophole. And Google's going to close that loophole real quick because they don't want people, changing those things around. They're trying to just bring relevant content to people, and that's what it's all about. Just use your common sense and just write the relevant content, get the links out there. People are going to link back in, and you're going to go up. A tattoo text. Now, for example, does anybody know? I know Kathleen must know it. Maybe Christopher's heard about it. I don't know if Russell was around then or not. Anybody heard the word bacon, B-A-C-N, in the last couple of minutes? Okay. PodCamp Pittsburgh in 2007 There was 4 of us sitting around the registration table. It was up down on the 4th floor. Just thinking about different kinds of meat and getting all these messages on our phones. So okay, so it's not spam because it's Facebook notifications and things like that you signed up for, but it's not personal email because you're not really going to read it ever. So we thought, okay, we're going to call it bacon, BACN. That's what we did, right? It was the weirdest thing, not even a word, because I was a Canadian, myself a Brit, and 2 Americans, so you've got 3 different types of bacon. So we termed it that, and it just blew up over PodCamp. I went home and wrote about it as a commonly used tech term. We just thought it up that afternoon. But people started linking into it, and it was all over Twitter, and like I use example, the New York Times, Time Magazine, things like that, all wrote about it, links coming in, search engine rankings go up. So it's great when you get a niche, or you write something unique, write something pertinent, write something that people want to link to. Stuff goes up.
And it was still around a year later.
And I've noticed, because I still got an alert set up for it. It is a commonly used tech term, and with Google's priority inbox coming out, Google has started using the word themselves. So it's like, I love the priority inbox first of all, but yeah, because it filters out your bacon. I'm like, that's awesome. So yeah, and it's like I said, you get the stuff out there, it goes right on up, but. It's amazing how something can take off. You just get the content out there. But I've got business cards up here. I don't want to self-promote whatever, but if you got any questions, drop me an email. I'm always checking my email.
I'll promote Andy. Andy's really great with customer service.
Aww.